Have you ever been known as the responsible one? Today, we're going to talk about the hidden weight that comes with that title, the unspoken burden of being the responsible child.
So let me ask you, does this hit close to home? Were you what people call the little adult? You know, the kid who somehow always seemed to have it all together, even when you were, well, still a kid?
Maybe you were the family's peacemaker, always stepping in to smooth things over. Or the go-to problem solver, the one everyone ran to with their issues. Perhaps you were the confidant, right? Holding on to secrets and worries that were way too heavy for your age. I bet people told you all the time, wow, you're so wise beyond your years. If any of that rings a bell, then yeah, you're in the right place.
Okay, so where does this all even come from? Let's dig into how this whole strong, responsible child thing gets built, and how it so often becomes a mask of strength.
You know, for most of us, it starts really early. You got praised, not for just being a kid, but for acting like a tiny adult. So you learned fast that your value, your worth, came from being strong and capable for everybody else. It was a role you had to play, and you learned to play it perfectly, just to feel seen, to get that love and approval.
But here's the thing. Being strong all the time, it comes with a hidden cost, a really big one. Because underneath that super capable surface, there's a completely different story going on. And this is the real conflict, isn't it? From the outside, everyone sees you as capable, mature, so strong. But inside, the reality is you're exhausted. You're carrying this weird sense of guilt. And there's this deep, nagging feeling that something is missing, that you're just totally unfulfilled.
So what does that hidden struggle actually feel like? Well, it's that constant, nagging pressure to always be productive. It's that deep, heavy guilt that washes over you the second you even think about resting, like you're doing something wrong. And because of all that, it becomes almost impossible to even figure out what you need, which just leaves you feeling kind of disconnected from yourself.
Yeah, it really gets to a point where your strength isn't just a part of you anymore, it's a full-on mask. And to keep that mask from slipping, your own needs, they had to be buried, just pushed way, way down. Sometimes so deep, you almost forgot they were even there in the first place.
Okay, so why? Why does this happen? Well, the good news is there's actually a name for this burden. There's a real psychological reason that helps us understand the why behind all these feelings.
And this right here, this is a game changer. You weren't just mature for your age. No, that maturity, it wasn't a choice. It was a survival strategy. You were forced to become that person just to get through it.
The actual term for this is parentification. It's a big word, but what it means is simple. It's when a child is forced to take on adult emotional roles and responsibilities way before they're ready. Think about it. Were you the mediator in your parents' arguments, or the main emotional support for a sibling? That's parentification.
And what parentification does is it creates something called split maturity. This explains that huge disconnect we were just talking about, right? Where on the outside, you look so capable, so self-sufficient, but on the inside, you feel emotionally stuck and just deeply unfulfilled.
Look, just recognizing this stuff is a massive first step, seriously, but it leads to the most important question of all. How do you finally start to put that weight down? So let's talk about the very first steps toward healing.
So how do you even begin to heal? I want to be clear. This is a journey, not some overnight fix. But the whole thing starts by finally admitting that this burden, it was never yours to carry. So, where do we start?
Okay, 4 things to start with. First, you just have to acknowledge the weight. Just see it for what it is. Second, let yourself mourn what you lost. You know, grieve the childhood you didn't get to have. It is absolutely okay to be sad about that. Third, you've got to start reclaiming your own needs, even in tiny ways. Start by just asking yourself, what do I actually want right now? And finally, and this one is so important, you have to give yourself permission to rest, real rest, because your value has absolutely nothing to do with how productive you are.
So let's leave it with this thought. Healing isn't about trying to become even stronger. You've already done that. It's about finally realizing that you've been strong enough for way too long. The real healing starts the moment you decide to stop carrying a weight that was never, ever yours to pick up in the first place.